Previously on Real Garbage.
What is a mouse going to do with a bunch of teeth?
Make a suit out of it.
What's a fairy going to do with it?
He is the guy from Terminator 2.
Dyson.
Miles Dyson.
Oh, is that the death?
That's
Is
him,
that
yeah.
his death scene?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, coming up on this episode of Real Garbage. Broke in through the air conditioning ducts, and then he broke into the safe, planted explosives in it, blew it open, robbed it, closed it, used plaster. He's carrying plaster in there. I'm not, where are you getting the water?
This guy's
to make
like
plaster.
He's drywalling. He's feathering it in there. I mean,
I gotta let it
Are you
dry.
kidding?
He's sitting there letting it dry. Like oh, come on.
you know, you're just gonna hang around the scene of the crime here. You're gonna do a little bit of drywall in
It's
here,
the worst tape job I've ever done.
and then he's
It's going to be a good one. I'm joined by my friend and one of the best damn drummers in town, Jeff Marchi, to review Liam Neeson's newest movie, Taken. Taken 2. Taken 3. Honest Thief. Let's face it, folks, they're all the same. Stick around, though. We got a quick word from our fake sponsors, and then we're going to review Honest Thief on Real Garbage. And if you haven't already, just take 3 seconds. Just 3 seconds. Click that little box in the lower right-hand side of the screen. Hit subscribe. Turn on notifications for new episodes every Sunday at 12:15 p.m. right here.
this episode of Real Garbage, episode 142, brought to you by the return of the clapper. Clap on, clap off. The clapper.
This episode of Real Garbage is also brought to you by the Talk Like Liam Neeson training package, available now online at Amazon.com. With the Talk Like Liam Neeson training package, you will learn how to leave angry voicemails. You will learn how to threaten people over the phone. You will also get personalized birthday greetings from Liam Neeson. This message is actually endorsed by Liam Neeson.
I'm coming for you.
Thanks, Liam. That's the Talk Like Liam Neeson training package, available now at Amazon.com. Real
Remember when Peter Griffin and Liam Neeson went at it for like almost a whole episode of The Simpsons? Or no, sorry, of Family Guy. Remember that?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Well, because they're making fun of his persona, because that's all he does now.
Right, but he did beat the shit out of Peter, though.
It was kind of like chicken fight style, wasn't it? I think.
A little bit. No, it was clearly in Liam Neeson's favor.
Oh, so he doesn't like to lose.
No, but he kind of lost this movie, as far as I'm concerned. What
Well, so we want to jump right into it, or what?
I don't know. How long do we go with this like preamble thing?
I don't know.
Because it's good. I can go longer on the preamble. It's fun.
What do you want preamble about?
Really, there's lots of things. Politics.
No politics.
At all levels.
No politics.
Okay, stay away from that.
This all stays in too.
Okay.
What else?
Well, I don't know. We're talking about how much we miss live entertainment.
Welcome, Reeltors. I'm joined here by one of the best drummers I've ever had the honor of playing on a stage with, Jeff Marchi, right here from Victoria, BC. Dude.
Appreciate that intro. That's he's a little bit of what we call in my business hyperbole, because yes, I do have a day job. It's true.
He's a superhero by day, drummer at night. Man, hopefully we get to do some live. We get to see some live music. That's one thing I've been itching for.
Yeah, and then this guy over here, awesome voice, and hope we can do some music here soon. And wow, episode 142
142 already.
of Real Garbage. Congratulations. That's
you.
I don't know what kind of milestone was saying earlier to you about it's the the answer to everything in the universe and plus 100. Well, so you're like even beyond that by 100. It's crazy territory.
It's been a good time. It's cool, man. This is I think this is what kept me on track for the whole pandemic so far, is just having something to do every week. Just like, okay, this is Tuesday night, or this is Saturday during the day,
or Sunday like it is today.
Hell yeah! Happy Easter.
Yeah, happy Easter indeed.
Are you doing? Because you don't eat meat, right?
Oh well, I've kind of bent a little bit on all that kind of stuff.
you having ham tonight?
Especially, that's what my brother says on the menu. So
Nice.
yeah. So kind of back top carnivore.
I've got some double smoked pork chops from Orr's Butcher in Brentwood. Throw them on the grill for like 8 minutes.
So my question is, you hear about this double smoked, like who's ever gone into the triple smoked territory? Triple smoked.
What kind of smoke? Like, what's the third smoke you're adding?
This is
What are 3 smokes?
well,
you're
you
mixing?
could infuse it. Could be one of those, right? That's the triple smoke.
This is injected with smoke.
It's like hot boxed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's another level of the smoke. I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
That's what happened.
But I guess everything's legal like that these days, so it's possible.
Well, remember, I think it was a couple of years ago, there was a Willie's Bakery downtown Victoria. You guys will get this if you're from
heard
around
something
here.
about that. Yeah.
Well, they shut it down, and then it became, I don't know if they shut it down or sold it, but it was going to become a weed cafe where you could go in and eat edibles, and I don't know if you can smoke weed, but
yeah, I think it was based on having infusions within the various recipes and twists on sort of traditional recipes or something. Then you could get it, and I think in baked goods and things like that.
Just seems like you've had edibles before, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Tried, yeah.
Like, what are these edibles you speak of?
But I never inhaled.
I never swallowed. No, I would not want to be in a cafe
You don't
setting.
inhale those things, you're going to get in trouble.
You didn't chew, officer. Damn it, he didn't chew. He's got us. I would not want to be in a room full of like a bunch of people I don't know who are all eating edibles. I think that just seems like a really reckless idea.
It's a setup. It's a setup.
People stumbling out. You're
And not a good
intoxicated in
one.
public. Here's your fine.
Yeah.
We'd get you for your parking tickets, you sons of bitches.
Well, you wouldn't be able to find your car.
Dude, how many people do you know that just say, like, I've never paid a parking ticket? I know a couple of people.
I've got a friend, I'm not going to mention any names, over on the mainland, and he's a pretty notorious scofflaw. He does things like he's snuck into Vancouver Canucks games, never pays for golf. He's got a little shuffle. He goes on like number 2 and finishes up on number 17 type of deal, Gets his 16 holes in, right?
Played 32 this morning. Wait, what?
Quick 32. So that's kind of his style. And so, yeah, he found out some kind of way. So he's got some kind of hustle that he went around that. He found a workaround. I don't remember what it was exactly, but he's really good at this stuff. So
I imagine that the free sporting events would be you just throw on a reflective vest and just walk in.
Well, that's a good one. He hasn't done that, but he did like this slide door hustle. So people go out and they smoke, I guess, or whatever, in this little slide door. So he sort of appears in this place, and then he shuffles on into the lounge with the rest of the smokers, hangs out at the bar, and blah, blah, blah. And he's done that a couple times. I don't think he's done it recently, but he's had success with that. So hopefully they don't shut that down now. The old side door hustle.
They call him the side door hustler bandit. We've been looking for him for 10 years.
So yeah, he's always got the best deals down to Mexico and all that kind of stuff. He's pretty good with that.
That's interesting. You could probably, does he make you maybe could make a business out of that, couldn't you? A little side business.
Well, this guy, I love this guy, but it'd be probably more like Kramerica, It's a little Seinfeld allusion there for the folks. I mean, who knows? Write a book. Get your own little cult established, and away you go.
Which I feel like nowadays isn't that hard.
No,
It's not that hard at all.
Look at these Paul brothers, right? They're kind of taking over the sporting world and the internet, and they're bringing all this stuff together, and it's pretty ridiculous. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's compelling.
Mm-hmm. I still want to watch it.
I know. Me
Absolutely
too.
want to watch it.
I'm totally going to watch it.
I'll probably just watch it on YouTube after.
Right. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
I'm not going to
the next day. No. That's preposterous.
Just show me the highlights. I mean,
or the lowlights.
We were talking about it earlier. It's who knows what's going to happen, because you can say, yeah, Askren's a professional fighter, but he's a wrestler, and he's not training boxing, and we don't know how. Or I think.
Right, but I mean, this kid is big,
and he's been training boxing.
And he's been training boxing, and and he outweighs Askren considerably.
It's a big size.
He's got a big reach advantage. If he slaps him around with those big mitts of his a couple times, I mean, Askren obviously is a professional, and he's got the I think was an Olympian or whatever. The guy's got the credentials, but the other, he's a much younger athlete. He's been training hard. I don't think he's taken it lightly. Either competitor, so it's going to be interesting. Yeah,
I was saying to you earlier, my only prediction that could happen would be because Jake Paul's getting really emotional. Like Askren's getting under his skin really well. So if he just loses his cool, he could get caught with something.
Mistakes.
Absolutely.
Right. And it sounds like maybe that's what Askren's trying to do. It seems like that's kind of his strategy.
They go
at this point and get under his skin a little bit, and
they go all the rounds, and Askren just takes him down in the final round.
This is what I want to see. That's where I want it to go. It's like, okay, you're a tough guy, then get in the octagon.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind this get in the ring stuff, and then if you're going to challenge all these MMA guys, then get in the ring with them. Not get them in a boxing ring. To me, that doesn't make any sense. Then call out some boxers if you're such a tough guy.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's just it's what it is. It's business, right? You said he's a great businessman, so there's more money. There always has been more money in boxing.
Yes,
for some reason, it's got to be organized crime just pumping it full.
No, we're really boxing organized crime. Come up, no.
This episode just ends right here. I see why they're trying to promote this in a boxing ring instead of a cage, because there's just more money.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just a savvy business decision. So whatever you want to think about these kids. They've kind of they've been pretty smart about all this and pretty successful. And hate them if you hate all you like. They're laughing all the way to the bank. And every other cliche. We were talking about cliches earlier, right?
Oh, there's a few.
Yeah. Well, it's like that movie we just watched right today. What was that called?
It was called
The Honest Thief.
Honest Thief, starring Liam Neeson.
Right, and I don't know. I'd like to talk to those writers who took the money for writing this real garbage, and I think they should give it back. Otherwise, they're not honest thieves because they stole the money. They should give it back, just like he did in the movie.
Well, how do AI,
and hopefully a whole bunch of other Hollywood people don't have to die and whatnot like they did in the movie.
How do AI supercomputers spend real money anyway?
Well, and that's the conundrum for these bank robbers. How do you spend all this cash these days? What are you going to do with it, right? It's only so many times you go down to the bakery and it's like, oh, there he is again.
Sell me all the
donuts.
No,
we can't change 100, buddy.
He's just carrying out dozens of donuts.
Back for the donuts.
He's profiting $40 every day. Spending 60 on donuts.
And then you turn in yourself in and to what end here? You got $9 million. Granted, it's hard to spend, but it's
we're gonna find out. It's for the love of a woman.
Yeah,
I'm gonna nutshell this for people before we start. So the movie Honest Thief, a 2020 film starring Liam Neeson, is about a bank robber who robs 12 different banks for various reasons, meets a girl, and then decides that he wants to turn himself in because he wants to be an honest man with this woman who makes him feel like a man.
Well, he's a meticulous bank robber, and he has his own moral code.
He does have morals. And the FBI gets on to him, so it's a foot chase here and a car chase there, and eventually everything works out in the end.
Pretty much.
Welcome to Honest Thief.
If you contrive any other sort of, type of thing you can crowbar into one of these types of action flicks. Every predictable. I mean, we did... there were a number of lines telegraphed today.
You nailed at least 7 of them.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So, that's unfortunate. And as I say, hey, if you wrote this, then you should give the money back. Give the money back.
It was...
Because you know what? I'm coming for you.
I'm coming for you. Well, it was kind
of
a...
steal their money for writing this real garbage.
Give us, maybe they got paid in Bitcoin. Robots, because as you said, it feels like one of those.
I hope they forgot the code.
It feels like they just punched in a premise and an idea, and it was like, write this, robot.
That's kind of what it's what it felt like to me in a way. I mean, it was so cliched and formulaic and contrived that it's difficult sometimes. And then you kind of had the little dog distraction. They're trying to reel in that demographic. and there's a cute little dog in the show. I mean that. I mean,
looks like
and that
my
didn't
little
the dog.
dog.
No, and the dog. I'm sorry, but the dog didn't even save this dog of a movie, really.
I was waiting for it to do something at the end. I'm like, they're saving one more scene for the dog. They have to.
Right? So they didn't tie it together with the dog even. It's just lazy.
Maybe
Lazy.
Maybe there was an after credit scene that we didn't see.
Well, I mean,
Leave it in the comments, folks.
maybe
if there's something we
the
missed.
director's cut. He just says, you know what? I think we're just gonna cut the whole thing.
The alternate ending: Liam Neeson dies. The dog saves the day.
Well, I mean, it would have been good to have a little something going on with that dog a bit more because, right? What was the point?
We
What
got
was
to see
the point
the
of
dog
that?
6 times in the movie, at least for the first 2/3.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So that was a little disappointing with the dog. Even you're hoping that subplot's going to go somewhere, and then of course you had the predictable love, subplot with him. He's gonna quit the business for the love of a good woman and all this other kind of stuff, and then what he puts her through. Realistically, are you? Oh, sure, everything is hunky dory and like kind of like it was. Like, are you kidding me, man?
She accepts him back so easily.
Yeah.
Okay, you know
Didn't
what?
even make him work for it, really.
You know what this film is? This film is, just think back to the 90s when
He worked
Sylvester
harder to
Stallone.
set up Biff.
Oh yeah. Hello, McFly. Remember back in the
The
90s,
guy
like
looked like Biff, the one detective or FBI guy. He was not convincing as a G man.
it was weird casting.
More like I don't know, H or I or J man or something like that. Definitely not a G man.
Get this old man out of my sight.
Yeah, it's an old man.
Turn in your
Oh,
gun
man.
and your badge
Are you
and your
kidding?
dog.
I like that. Oh man, are you kidding me? Exactly.
Oh man. With this movie, remember, like Sylvester Stallone, Schwarzenegger were the big names in the 90s. And so they were just, to compete with that, people, like production houses were just pumping out garbage action movies with like shitty no-namers. That's what this feels like, but now.
Yes.
It's like Liam Neeson's just like, oh, I'm going to be that guy that competes with these big names like The Rock and just makes these terrible movies.
And yeah, he's like trying to be like this sort of like past middle age
He's
action hero.
68
years old.
He looks good for 68.
Looks great.
But man, he was doing some crazy stuff in this movie, and it just, I don't know. That's what it seemed like to me watching this. I'm like, this just feels like way back in the day when it was just like all these no-name action movies. He's become one of those to me.
Yeah, and it's not even a B movie. We're down in the. It's like the C. Well, I mean, C minus ish.
That's D-list movie.
Yeah. Well, trying to be kind, I suppose.
But was Liam Neeson ever really like A-list? Like he's B-list at most, I think.
Well, no, he had his. The Taken time.
Oh, wait, hold on.
He's,
Yeah.
He's
Okay,
pretty
sorry.
much right up there. And then what was the other?
He was in Star Wars. He was in Star Wars episode
right.
1.
He's had a few, and he'd kick our asses if he found out we were talking smack about him like this.
Absolutely.
But hey, Liam, you kind of limped through this one a little bit.
So this is an example of where you can't work with terrible writers, because this was just a poorly written, predictable piece of trash.
It really was. And then, right down to almost like scene by scene, you could predict exactly where things were going to go. Okay, now this is going to happen. Now he's going to turn on this guy, and the sort of semi dirtbaggish other partner is he's going to be sacrificed. Okay, okay, now he's dead, and on and on and on. Sorry, plot spoilers. Are we allowed to do that?
Oh, absolutely. But like, okay,
Okay.
We'll start off the start here. We're just going
Right.
to explain. So he's doing credits are rolling. He's doing a robbery spree. Robs 12 banks. We find out later. So he goes to get a storage locker because I guess he has all this money that he needs to store and a bunch of other stuff, and just wanders in he's like, hello, and then there's nobody there. He's like, well, I better just wander behind the desk and just start
behind the
grabbing
desk.
stuff.
And not only that, I'm gonna sniff the tea. It's almost like
It's violating.
really, and then that was a bit weird, I felt. And then of course she liked that somehow. So I guess maybe that foreshadows that she's going to be okay with Oh, he's a bank robber. Okay, no problem. Oh, okay. This guy just banged my head off the counter and left me for dead and everything. That's okay, and I'm gonna forgive him and not even make him work for it.
She gets dragged through some
kidding
shit
me?
in this movie.
Yeah, she.
But see, that's the power of love, isn't it?
That's the power of love.
Give up $9 million, get your head racked off a countertop. I love you, baby.
I mean, you'd think the $9 million. You got $9 million, and nobody knows. And he had finished his little spree. He was done with criming, but he just had that conscience, right? It was just nagging at him, and he just couldn't live with himself and the $9 million. And
who hasn't ever just got stuck in a lie when they're younger and been like, I better just ride this out?
yeah, I felt like he could have rode the lie a little longer, but I guess that we wouldn't have had the honest thief. It was honestly a thief of our time, really. That's
Stole it from us.
It is. I'm coming for you, Liam. You stole my time.
So anyway, they
Stole my time.
She's. I'm coming for you. So they have.
Hey, that was pretty good. That was a pretty good one.
I don't know you. I don't know who you are. But I'll find you. And I'm going to kill you.
Oh, that's great. Great stuff.
So we flash forward to 1 year later.
Yes.
They're a team now breaking into their new house for some reason.
Right.
Because he's like, well, I have to show her I can do a little bit of illegal stuff.
Foreshadowing for them. They're going to be like, what do they call those people?
Bonnie and Clyde?
Well, no, the
Cat burglars?
Cat burglars for in the future. And
That's the pose for cat burglar. Like you're suction cupping up a window.
right.
You can hear the sex smell.
Yeah, putting the suction cup here and that one. I think if they did it, so don't do the cat burglar sequel. That ain't gonna work.
Sorry, go
I'm
ahead.
just saying. And plus, it's probably like a 2-for-1 deal here. He's 68. She's probably about 34, maybe. Maybe a bit late. Maybe.
No. She's got to be 40. I'd say 47.
She 40s?
Yeah, I'd say, late
Late
40s.
40s?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But she's like looking good for 40.
Okay. All right. I gave her a little too much credit there, maybe, but you know.
He's buying a house. How? Okay, he says he
Yes.
didn't spend
So this is the
dollar.
thing. So he claims he never spent $1 yet. Somehow he's got the bankroll to buy this house. It's quite a nice house. It's not going to be cheap. And it's a nice neighborhood. She said too. Remember
That had to be like 2.4, 2.6 mil out here.
Whatever it was, you just don't walk in with your big paper bag full of cash, or I guess it's like your Rubbermaid container full of cash. And just how much do we need here?
Cutting the duct tape off of it.
So how do you get the house?
And
does he work? He says, "Oh, I repair safes." Like, okay,
I'm a safe repair.
but he hasn't spent any of this money. So how is he sustaining? He's got a modest military pension. We figured out because he's a Marine, but nonetheless, to be plunking down a big down payment or whatever on a house.
Well,
how's he doing that
what's
exactly?
What's the salary of a safe repairman? And how many safes are malfunctioning to the point
This
where
is
you need to have
he
a
actually need,
repairman?
right? And he's gonna. Well, no, he's also a buggy whip repairman as well. He kind of blends the two.
I'll fix your buggy whip safe. I gotta keep these safe.
Kind of steampunk professions there. Blends them both together.
Yeah, like buying a house. Maybe he had good credit and maybe
maybe,
safe
but you still
repairman
need the
makes,
money for the down payment, for the credit. Well, maybe this was during the time of the whole subprime loan meltdown thing, and the guy was able to just walk in there with the, a couple little, a small bag of money, and they were like, yeah, okay, small bag of money, that's better than most people. Here you go.
$1 million mortgage approved.
Approved.
If you can make the payments,
Do you want
sucker.
to? I mean, so maybe that, they didn't, but that wasn't clear. I mean, it seemed to be present day.
It's 2020. This
Right.
is a 2020 movie. It should be
that's not happening.
everybody wearing masks.
Right, and no one was wearing masks either, I might add.
Sanitizing every 5 minutes.
We aren't, but we're socially distant here,
It's like a 20-foot couch.
Yeah.
He's actually across the room.
And some visible plexiglass between us here.
So now we get Detective Dog Cop. This is the first taste of this detective who's better than the rest. He's a good guy because the music changes whenever they show him.
And I was sad to see RoboCop go down, or not RoboCop, but Terminator go down so early.
Yeah, Robert Patrick.
I mean, like he couldn't have come out with one of those like metal kind of impalers or something and just
Wolfie's
just hammered
fine,
him,
honey.
right? Yeah,
Wolfie's just fine.
like that. Clearly he could have deflected all those bullets and stuff. Maybe he's still alive. Maybe he's the key to the comeback in the next sequel.
This Honest Thief 2, HT2.
Exact.
Have you seen this boy? This is where they got the call from Liam Neeson, who's like, I'm turning myself in. I'm the in and out. What do they call him? The
They call him the in and out thief.
In and out bandit.
I mean, the in and out bandit.
He's
I
the
mean,
in-and-out
come
bandit.
on, the in and out bandit again. Lazy writing. Give the money back.
I hate that name you gave me. It's not my nickname.
It is a stupid name. I agree with Liam on this one.
$9 million. Like, man, it'd be hard not to want to spend a little bit of $9 million of stolen money. Because like it seemed like it was a big buck you to whoever he was stealing from.
Maybe he didn't. Maybe he was kind of lying, and he took like for the down payment, and he did kind of have like a brown bag kind of backdoor deal with one of the shady local banks.
I think so.
You think so? Maybe
because it just seems it's like where'd the source of income go? Because that was easily, no matter where you are, that was at least an $870,000 house.
Sure,
Random
easy.
So you need 87 G's. I don't think a safe repairman makes $100,000 a year.
Well, it would appear to be a highly specialized craft.
I guess you get into some pretty big safes, like
Guild,
electronic.
as it were.
I guess it's kind of like stone cutters. Sorry, no homos. Oh, excuse
Well,
me.
Sure, there might be some kind of minimum.
Oh, he's not the. They believe he's like just another impersonator of the In-N-Out Bandit because everybody, I guess, people just want to confess. This is weird. People want to confess to murders they didn't do.
Confession culture.
So they can be famous. Is that an actual thing? Confession culture?
I'm just making it up, but I'm sure it sounds like it would appear. I mean, according to this film, if you want to believe it.
Sounds like a magazine.
I think you might want to Snopes that, but nonetheless, yeah, it would be a good magazine title.
Welcome to, or just a late night call-in talk show. Welcome to Confession Culture. It's 1 a.m.
Do you know what?
Huh.
That is a good idea.
Yeah?
Yeah. Don't you think? People love to hear that stuff. You know, do you remember there was that column in the back pages there?
Hang on.
Savage Love.
What were we just saying?
What were we just saying?
Man, I find that happening a lot nowadays. Like, I got this cheap quarter of weed at the store, like up the street in Brentwood, and it just gets you wrecked. Like, I went to the store once, and I was like, I came back, I'm like, fuck, I forgot this and this and this. I go back to the store, come back, I'm like, how did I forget another thing? It's like, didn't get what I was going for.
Is that the amnesia haze by chance?
No, it's just called quarter. Just quarter.
It's
like
just called
$32. I'm like
you can only remember a quarter of the things that you were trying to.
Pretty much. Like, I'm leaving the store. I'm like, I don't need to look at my list. I got everything I need to get all the way home.
Make a list, Jeff. Make a list.
Check it twice. I just rode home with the radio off, just laughing to myself. You idiot.
I don't think Liam Neeson would be a very fun guy to hang out with. Just speaking of the ha.
He seems kind of angry.
It's pretty.
Like he's always angry.
Like, does a guy ever relax? Like, can he? Like, what does relaxing look like for Liam Neeson? Like, what does that look like for him?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
think. I'm not sure he knows either.
This is where he says, like, he tells these two. This is where we get introduced to Ramon and Nevins.
Nevins, yeah, Officer Nevins.
This guy's a real piece of work.
Well, it's Biff there, as we were commenting earlier.
McFly. It's like, I don't know why I don't know any more lines of his in that movie. That's all I know.
That's kind of iconic. That's why. That's all you need for Biff.
So we get introduced to these two, and they're like, yeah, okay.
Why don't you make like a leaf and get out of here?
This is where they rob him. So they're like, okay, he gives them the key.
They have to go to the, and of course he thinks, he's an honest thief, but he's kind of a stupid one too, in a sense, because he thinks he's going to get to go and accompany them there, and they're going to be on like a field trip and a ride along here, when he's trying to, I'm the In-N-Out guy or whatever, right?
The In-N-Out Bandit.
I
hate that name.
Yeah, so do I. Again, lazy writing. Give the money back. So yeah, and then they go and of course find the money, and then they're just immediately corruptible. these guys. Like,
you
the
could-
one guy especially, but
You could feel it leading up when they're searching through
course.
stuff. I'm looking at you going, they're absolutely going to steal this money.
Yes.
And this is the premise. This is
Right.
what sets up Liam
this,
Neeson to be like,
of course,
I need to kill you.
yes.
Because you're like, well, you're asking the question, like, well, how's he going to be tough? Like, is he going to be tough? Maybe he's playing a gentler role in this. Like,
Well, that was the sort of earlier supposition that we had, and
he's
ex-Marine, of course. I mean,
he's a killing
I
machine.
wonder if that's, you know what, he probably has a contract where it specifies that he can never like be like the weak guy. He's always got to be the tough guy, and he's always got to win every fight that's staged in the movie, or otherwise they don't get Liam Neeson.
I absolutely believe that 100%.
It's probably true. Who do they get then? Who's the next guy down? Doesn't care if he gets his ass kicked.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a tough question.
Jason
No.
Statham or
No.
no,
No
is he
way.
up? Is he above Liam?
The
What'd you say?
the only person Jason Statham can almost lose to is The Rock.
The Rock.
And that, I mean, like almost lose. Like they're it's like two bulls locking horns. Just,
Okay, but the thing is, what The Rock has that Neeson kind of lacks is he's got that kind of a bit of humor, and Neeson, like they could have given us a couple commando lines or something like that at least, and we didn't. They tried, but they were so weak. I don't even remember what they were. Remember there was a couple.
let out some steam, Bennett.
Yeah, right, sure. Like at least give us something like that.
Yeah, he had nothing really. Like there was
I
the
had to let
No.
him go.
Yes.
That was Solly's fate, I think. Remember he dropped him off a cliff there. Had to let him go.
had to let him go. Come on, Cohagen, give the people air. Oh, the lines that he got. No,
The
he
lines.
got one. He got the one, and
Yeah.
it was like, I'm coming for you.
Yeah, but
I think that was it. Like that was like you're like that was the climax. That was the big line. That was the I'll be back.
it's like they taped that off the other movie and just kind of like put it in there. The AI guys. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, let's grab that. Or
I'm
whatever
coming for you.
Kind of weird language that these AI bots speak to each other. You heard about that, right?
Oh, AI speaking to each other now?
Yes, and they created their own language.
What?
Yes.
Man, this
Then
is
people
Skynet.
can't understand.
This is, that's
And
spooky.
so they had. That's when Facebook shut it down.
Is it complete? It's probably can't be shut down completely. Though.
Well, this is the question, isn't it?
You know,
Begs the question.
Zuckerberg's sitting down there taking the front of his head off and hooking in a big fucking cable. Goddamn alien robot.
Begs the question. I mean, I wonder how many Rotten Tomatoes this thing got thrown at it.
I didn't look.
I didn't look
My
either.
phone's up there. I can't look. I could lean over there, but it's a reach. Do you want to know? Do you really want to know?
Well, I mean, I know in my heart.
I would like to know. Yeah, because I said I
I'm
did
gonna
say.
what is it? Yeah, because
What's your guess? You got to do the critics and you got to do the viewers.
Okay, so the critics and the viewers. Hey, well, the critics are going to lambaste this thing pretty hard. Like they're going to be tough on this because it's basically a big, huge, reeking, festering, stinking piece of shit, and they're not going to be happy. The viewers, I don't think, are very far behind that either. They can smell the fetid,
Just
horrific odor.
spoon feeding the
Yeah.
audience this crap they've been seeing for years.
Exactly.
But
It's that's the problem with these things. Formulaic, and then they try to like kind of doll it up with a little doggy, and you know, in my view, they kind of fail miserably. And they should stop getting AI bots to write these things.
What's your guess?
Okay, my guess.
What's your score guess?
So what is its percentage, right? Points? Okay, so Rotten Tomatoes critics, I'm going to say probably somewhere around 38%. And then viewers probably like, I don't know, maybe 43%. Oh, shit. Whoa, what? What do we got? What do we got?
39%.
Okay.
What the critics?
What did I say? I was pretty close. I said 38%.
Yeah. Damn. Nice. And what did you say for the viewers?
And I said 43%.
87.
Oh, that shows how stupid people are these days.
Yeah.
I must.
Here's an action movie. You
87%.
87%. This is like this was just
I'm giving people way too much respect.
a generic cookie cutter shit movie. And people just love it. They're like, yeah, chalk up another one for Liam Neeson. Just like the last
You know,
15.
That's amidst this pandemic. That's pretty damn depressing.
Like, man, what was the point in even making him a safe fixer or a safe cracker? Like, it's just
buggy whip repair or whatever he was. Come on.
you could like what else could we make Liam Neeson job wise and make him
Well,
hunt people.
Maybe he could have been like a demolitions guy working for a demolitions company, because that's what he did in the with the Marines.
Yeah,
Is more plausible than he repairs safes. What does he do? Going like with a 3-in-1 oil and fucking drop some of this stuff down there and okay, we're good now, Fred.
Got rid of the squeak there for you, boss. Closes beautifully.
And you know the fee. That'll be $4,800.
It just
Well, he's got to make those down payments on that deluxe house in that nice neighborhood.
See, I just
Inexplicably, despite not spending any of that money, because he's an honest thief. So if he's an honest thief and he's got a moral code, he wouldn't lie to us, would he? We're the viewers. We never did anything wrong. Why would he lie to us?
And he doesn't ever lead on that he is lying to us either. So that just proves your point.
So safe repair. I don't know. Maybe it's a good sideline.
See,
Jeff.
I'm thinking like, how many people have safes out there that need how many of them need repairs? Like vaults. I'm starting to think of vault. I'm like
repairs,
a vault.
Repairs from what?
A
Exactly.
vault, like a bank vault or a casino vault could need
Yeah.
maintenance.
Yeah, Chuck had got drilled out real good.
Yeah, I come in and break them and break it and leave no trace, and then come in and fix them the next day. It's foolproof.
Well, I don't think he
He's a
didn't
con
fix the safes. I think he fixed his entry point, like how he got in to those areas.
Well, he's at one
Right?
point, he's like,
Wasn't it? I
he's
think I
like,
just want to get this straight. I don't want to be putting any fake news out there.
He broke in through the air ducts, the air
Right.
conditioning. So he plotted it out. He did it over a 3-day weekend, all the time, always 3-day weekend.
Every time a 3-day weekend.
Broke in through the air conditioning ducts, and then he broke into the safe, planted explosives in it, blew it open, robbed it, closed it, used plaster. He's carrying plaster in there. Where are you getting the water?
This guy's like
plaster.
He's drywalling. He's feathering it in there. I mean,
I gotta let it
Are you
dry.
kidding?
He's sitting there letting it dry. Like oh, come on.
You're just gonna hang around the scene of the crime here. You're gonna do a little bit of drywall in
It's
here.
the worst tape job I've ever done.
And then he's painting. He's painting. So he's got to bring in. Was he bringing like big, like drop cloths? Extension bars.
What the hell?
And
Like-
he's got all his,
and he's
his
lowering it
painter's
all,
clothes and
all
stuff.
through the air conditioning ducts too. He's like
Right.
lowering the fans down, plaster. There's a hose. He's like, where the hell am I gonna hook this thing up? Come on,
God damn it! I've forgotten my knife.
87%. People are like, man, I believe it all. Totally makes sense. He totally went through there.
Wow, I guess maybe did I watch a different movie than those people?
We both did.
Did we watch the director's
No.
cut? Because
We have common sense. We notice
I just
bad movies.
I just
tropes.
don't. Wow. I'm pretty staggered by that 87%.
Me too.
I mean, even if you
couldn't
flipped
believe
it around, it wouldn't make sense.
that.
No, even 78. No, it's too much.
The listeners and viewers will know my verdict at the end. It is
Yeah.
not good. Not 87%.
No, and I was pretty kind with my sort of evaluation. It's no 87%. That's for sure.
So these two shithead FBI agents rob his money, and they're going to leave, and Annie comes out. And she's like, oh, like, who are you guys? Oh, we work with Tom. We're helping him move some stuff. And she basically, I feel like she lied 3 times. Like, at least twice in that conversation. She's like, oh, you guys work over at such and such? Yeah, we totally do. And then she's like, oh.
Yeah, she basically induced them to lie to ensure that her intuition was correct, that these guys were not doing what they were supposed to be doing, and something shady was going on. I mean, obviously.
It's well played on her part. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
it
think
was,
a lot
it
of
was,
people
yes.
would think of that. They'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah, sure, I probably met you before. I was
having the
scared of your face.
presence of mind. But I mean, working in a storage place, like think of all like the greasy people that you'd see all the time. Who knows what they're up to, right? Speaking of which, this episode's also sponsored by Stu's Storage, and we don't care what you bring as long as you pay 6 months up front. That is their motto. So, yeah, head on down to Stu's Storage, and you can store whatever you need to store in there. And don't give that $9 million to the feds. I mean, what are you doing, man? I mean,
Your storage locker's starting to
like they
stink.
say, spend it $20 at a time. It's better than
What would okay?
I guess it's a bad secret. I mean, you know, like it's kind of like, oh, gee, oh, I didn't tell you I was a bank robber. Oh, geez, I meant to. I totally meant to talk to you about all the money that I stole and all the things I blew up. But it just never was the time.
Just didn't cross my mind.
Proper time.
Yeah, it's all about timing.
It's all about timing, and I guess the time's now.
So anyway, I robbed a bunch of banks.
Yeah.
So yeah, they rob him. So they leave and they go to their safe house to hide this money. And this is like we're already going. Okay, this guy's gonna shoot this guy. It's pretty obvious. Like
we knew that guy's time was limited. Yeah. Well, we didn't. You know what we missed was the requisite where the guy goes and digs the graves first. He didn't do that because, of course, he's trying to frame the other guy, Liam's character or whatever. But because I always like those ones where they're like digging that sort of
grave digging cutaway scene, like 8 minutes of them just talking about their wives. She drives me nuts.
Now we don't know. Now we have to infer, did the feds hold up their end of the deal? I mean, are they going to give him 2 years, conjugal visits, all that?
You would hope so, because he did uncover a horrible, corrupt FBI agent.
He did
in their agency that they couldn't even find. So it's like,
true.
Listen, guys, you better give me a license.
Because of course the part when he got the gun from Liam Neeson's
from Ramon
character,
took it off Ramon.
What's his name? The In-N-Out. We got it from In-N-Out. Got the gun from In-N-Out, and then basically gives it back to the guy after he got it from the perp.
Yeah, well, he stole it off.
That's
Ramon,
not
and he gave it back
FBI
to Ramon
101.
Don't
That's
don't
like
lose it
you're
this time.
suspended, you're arrested. Here's your rights.
Zero protocol.
It was appalling. Who was the FBI consultant on this one?
I don't think they could afford one.
I think clearly.
It seemed the budget did not obviously go to the details. Like it's somebody read the script and went, yeah,
That's good. It's good enough.
right. But Liam Neeson in the lead, it should be fine. I wonder if it was written like for him. Someone's like, listen, I'm just gonna write Liam.
Maybe
There's somebody out there that just writes.
But
Liam
if it's a
Neeson
vehicle
movies.
for him, then give him that thing. That was a piece. It was like a lot of the vehicles he was driving around. It was a kind of a piece of shit vehicle for him. Really. So it wasn't a great vehicle for the guy.
I guess.
Where's the great lines, the memorable lines?
He should just be ad-libbing, but I don't think he's a really.
No, I don't think
doesn't
he's a
seem
strong
like an
ad-libber. Like
improv.
he's not a life of the party type guy. I don't think he's a strong ad-libber.
Let me tell you a joke. This is a funny one, so laugh.
I'm already laughing. See, if he did that, he'd be freaking hilarious. I guess the thing of it is too. I mean, if you're gonna go down that road, you can't really hotwire new vehicles.
Yeah.
How do you hotwire them?
This is another. It's almost like a total throwback to these crappy '90s movies where it's like, oh, we're gonna give him a '93 Econoline van. That's what he needs.
You kind of have to. And I don't even know if you could do that so easily with a '93.
Who knows how to Did they teach you in the Marines? We teach you how to hotwire a car.
Well, he was a demolitions guy, so he knows which wires to cross and hopefully which ones not to cross, right?
Yeah.
Whoops.
Movie's done.
Yeah, I don't think he gets you many chances.
These guys come back and they're like, okay, we got the money, and now he's like, oh, well, did you count it? There's only $3 million, and then this guy Baker shows up at this apartment at Liam Neeson's place, comes in there, gets shot by Nevins, like it's completely predictable, and then is there a shootout here? Like
Wasn't it the other partner got plugged? That was when.
So this is where he escapes in the Jeep. So
the Jeep, the big Jeep chase.
She's walking in there, and he's like, "Run!" So they jump in her Jeep and they take off, hide in a parkade. This is a really weird shot. They get ahead of these two FBI agents. They curl up in the back seat, and
I think he was in the front seat when she was in the back. He was in the front.
Yeah, so they were curled up, and like the car pulls up, the other guy's car pull up, sits there. Camera lingers on that shot, back to them, back to that shot again for like uncomfortably long, and then pulls away. I'm like, it was a weird editing choice in my opinion.
Yeah, and I mean, if had they had the guy get out of the car,
look
and
around
a little bit, and maybe the fear of them being discovered, but that tension didn't really get realized. They didn't ratchet it up like they could have. They had an opportunity there. They didn't really seize upon.
I feel like
yet again, it's lazy. Give the money back.
Speaking of robots taking over, if you scroll. I don't know if you scroll through Instagram at all. I don't see. I feel
I'm
like
not a real gram guy.
yeah, but like
Yeah.
there's like there are people are putting these TikTok videos out, Instagram reels and stuff, and they're using at the beginning of each of these videos, they're using the voice of Siri or Google Home or Alexa, and so it's like, my boyfriend bought me a new car for my birthday, and people they're just doing this. Everybody is doing this, which seems really freaky to me, because we're
trying to emulate machines now.
Well, dude, we've become, aren't we?
We have become the machines, Jeff.
I never noticed. But seriously,
We're all replicants.
Do you have a Google Home or anything like that? Like I don't.
I use Google at Home, but I don't have a Google Home, and I don't use Siri. I've got that turned off.
People love that.
But it's the technology is always listening. It's continually eavesdropping on you, and
absolutely. This episode's already
your smart
out. We're
smart
streaming
TV is continually listening to you, and
I usually
and
have
on
a
it goes.
watch with a microphone, so even that, like
The Internet of everything,
it's
right?
everywhere, man.
And we're rolling with it right now.
It's pretty cool.
But yeah, it has its pluses.
So, there's also in the midst of this fight with.
Does this movie have pluses? We got to be fair, I guess.
Well, yeah. Well, this fall, man. Liam
Yeah, the
Neeson
fall,
falls
yeah.
like 30 feet.
He does. He takes a big hard fall, and he does this like involuntary parkour kind of park toof kind of on the, and then he's fine. Like he has no after. The guy's 68 years old. You take a fall like that.
Even if
you're not breaking a hip.
Even if you land on the other guy, you're still landing on a 200-pound man.
Right.
Like,
right.
And then rolling off again and falling in a shrub.
Yeah.
Even that.
And shrubbery sharp.
Yeah. So you're getting up like, it's pulling on your shirt and scratching your arm.
Yes, it is.
It's like
yes,
blackberries.
it is.
Horrible little
And
bastards.
Liam Neeson is tough. We'll give him that.
It's
But
written in his contract.
but I think that's part of the deal.
I want to have superhuman abilities in this movie.
It's a given.
Liam, we can't.
What's his rider like? Like what are his backstage demands? What does he need back there, like to kind of in his trailer? Because of course he'd have his own trailer.
I need 15 bottles of water with the labels removed, smooth. I also need one bowl of red M&Ms with one yellow M&M in the middle.
Yeah, and you better not screw that up either.
I asked for blue. He's chucking bowls of M&Ms at people. I don't know, because like I wonder what my demands would be if I were demands. My demands.
Jeff, what would your demands be backstage?
I would want. It would be nice.
Jeff's rider. We're listening to Jeff's rider here.
Well, my ideal situation backstage would be. I was kidding. I don't know, something good to eat, like a really good New York. Like where am I? Am I in New York? Am I in like L.A.?
Well, you're touring around, and
okay.
let's say you're touring around. You're doing a stand-up tour. Let's say, okay, and they're setting you up because you're a headliner, so they're setting you up backstage, and you got a little dressing room, and then you're gonna have like a little. Like a deli tray or whatever, like whatever's in your rider, because wherever you go, your rider follows you, and then your managers make sure that basically that is fulfilled. So you have all those things that you've requested in your rider, like Mattis Yahoo, you got to have like a new teapot every time. And other people, everything's got to be black and white theme.
Oh, weird. Huh. See that? You can get real crazy with this because you can be like, listen, I want 3.
That's what I'm saying. You alluded to the M&M, so I mean,
I want 3 3-foot tall bonsai trees trimmed asymmetrically, perfectly placed 4 feet apart at the back of any dressing room I'm in for longer than 24 hours. I also want a small fountain in the opposite corner with sand, just like Zen garden, just building weird shit. Well, think about this. Like The Rock, dude. The Rock has a team of people traveling, just hauling his gym around.
His food.
His gym.
Well,
it's
both.
like
Both. I think they're about equal.
It's nuts.
I think 4 semis for the food and 4 semis for the. Have you ever seen what The Rock eats for
cheat days?
That too, but just like a regular day of what he eats.
A ridiculous.
I think
amount
it's
of food.
like 6 pounds of cod. Is just a small part of the whole thing. Can you imagine? Like, think of that guy's flatulence. The Rock. I mean, he's a great guy and stuff like that. Yeah, but you just try being like jammed in a room with him.
He just
after
gave
he's
Jerry the rock bottom.
cranked back like 6 pounds of cod, right? And whatever else he's like chowing down.
It's gotta be.
There's like 25,000 calorie diet or whatever it is.
But I guess like if you're just relative to your size, if you're eating enough, because he needs that calorie intake to maintain his muscle mass. So as long as he's using all those calories and burning it up, it's not like
I'm sure he
and
is.
and like everything is just dialed in. I don't know. He probably doesn't fart that bad. Who knows?
6
Welcome
pounds-
to episode 142. We're talking
6
about
pounds
the
of
rocks
cod.
farts. Does fish make you fart though? I don't know.
I'll put you in the elevator
I
with him.
want some fucking cod right now. I want some fish and chips. Where
That's
are
a
we?
good
at?
halibut the other night.
Oof.
Yeah, it's running fresh now.
So this is where he starts telling her, he's like, okay, listen, I'm going to tell you everything. And he's like, I used to be a bank robber, but I'm not anymore. And it's like,
Right.
saying, well, I used to be a murderer, but I don't murder people anymore, so it's cool, baby.
Yeah, so it's the whole thing is, once a bank robber, always a bank robber.
Scorpion's going to scorp, man.
And they're not once you're busted, it's not like that goes away.
Yeah.
And they're not going on any trips, down south or anything like that, because south ends with, I guess, Florida. It's about as far south as they're going, because, you don't travel when you're a felon and when you're in jail, too.
And you just don't travel to
But
Florida.
I think
Come
he
on.
got the conjugal visits all set up, so.
Well, it seemed like he had to have been doing that, because really 2 years, you're not going to deprive yourself, because she's going to wait. She's totally going to wait, because she's into him. She's like, this woman.
It's the honest thief, not the honest girlfriend.
What are her secrets? What are her skeletons that she's carrying around? She's
Well,
like,
I
yeah,
already
cool.
I told you my theory earlier, so.
I can't remember what it was, but you can tell people what it is.
She was a dancer. She was.
Yeah.
She danced for money, but it helped put her through school, and
They
good
make
for her.
They make a lot.
Oh, dude, I remember. Anyway,
But sorry, a little bit of humor in this scene though, when she's like, so he finishes telling her, and she's like, anything else? And he goes, well, I'm like, yeah, okay, that's kind of funny. I got a giggle out of that.
what
Liam-
about the?
Liam Neeson doing a little?
He didn't like her cookies or healthy cookies, and
Yeah, I hate
and,
your healthy cookies.
and then he had some other complaint about her too. There was something that he didn't like. Something else he didn't like about. Oh, he didn't like yellow.
I don't like the color yellow.
Of course not, because would Liam Neeson like yellow?
Nobody likes yellow.
No, I know, but yellow is kind of like the sort of symbolic color of cowardice.
You
So of course Liam Neeson wouldn't like yellow.
Remember when that was like the biggest insult? Like, just think back. Like, people started shooting.
You're yellow.
You're yellow.
Yeah.
A couple of scenes later, she's like, so why rob banks? And the way he starts telling the story, he's like, well, my father was this and my mother was that. The year was 1973.
Yeah, he kind of rationalized it pretty well to kind of justify his, it's felonious behavior, really.
So what was
Multiple occasions.
What was it again? It was just because the bank wouldn't help him when he was in dire need. Like his mom was sick or something. Or dead or
Yeah,
something.
he laid it on. I mean, every kind of plethora of sort of challenges and difficulties. He kind of laid them all out there.
Everybody
movie had
cliche ever.
Yes, every cliche. Everybody had cancer. Everybody had this. Everybody was dying and depressed and all this kind of stuff. So the bank that was, I guess, I don't know if they foreclosed. Did they foreclose or something? I don't remember. So they did something, and that was the bank that he went to and robbed. That was the first one. 600 and
About 600 G's. He's like, I don't know. I was kind of ballparking.
and then he just kind of left it in a storage locker.
Well, because he does say that he goes, I never spent it, and he said, I did it because I liked it. So he was like getting off on it, is what he said. So really, there's no way he's gonna like give it all up and change for her. After he does that 2-year stint, and starts dating her for a little while, for
And
like
then
6
and
months,
then,
he's gonna be like,
and then it's like,
I really want to
hey,
rob
honey,
somebody.
how was your day? And it's like, yeah.
He's like,
yeah.
I gotta rob somebody right
I
now.
gotta go rob a bank like right now.
Where were you all weekend?
I gotta blow a vault up right now.
That's what's gonna happen. Because it's like,
I don't know
come
what
on.
happens every
If
time
he's-
there's a 3-day weekend. You just
if he's doing it because he likes it, it's
Yeah.
going to be really hard for him to give it up. But who knows? I don't know. Because like you could give up smoking after a while. It's not good for you. It's been over 4 years for me. I haven't smoked, but like something like that. So maybe you could be like, listen, I've had my fun breaking into safes. I'm good now. Because I don't think I know I won't ever have a cigarette. So
once
maybe
a junkie, always a junkie.
Never trust a junkie.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, she's kind of, yeah, maybe she, like we were saying, maybe she's got her own kind of dark secrets and stuff. And see, that would have made the movie interesting.
Give her a little more.
Maybe she
stakes.
had something. Maybe she was like G.I. Jane or something. All of a sudden, like she was like ex Special Forces, and she comes out and it's like does some kind of role. And I mean, that's super cliche, but it's kind of funny. I don't know. It just the movie just needed something, you know. It needed. They tried with the little dog, but that wasn't it. That didn't really pick up the movie for me.
I wonder if
the villains were very cartoonish. Even some of the backdrops, you know, seemed like kind of CGI-ish, cartoonish. It just had a very predictable, kind of contrived,
it was just
lackluster
cookie
sort of
cutter,
very
generic,
cookie cutter, formulaic, just
off
by the numbers.
casual action movie.
How many more cliches can we come up with to describe this kind of cliche-ridden? 87%, buddy. 87%.
Even the what did I say? 36 from the critics. Even that is like generous.
38 because or 39. I said 38.
Oh yeah, 39. That's right.
And,
that is generous. That's
well, they don't. The critics don't want Liam Neeson coming for them either, right?
You gave me a bad rating. 39 is acceptable.
I mean, right? So there's probably like a cutoff, and they probably get like a little letter. Each one of these critics or whatever, they get a little letter from Liam Neeson.
We also
and there's a cutoff, and if you, by God, if you go below that cutoff.
Well, who you got to think too? Who are these critics? Like, really, who's labeling themselves a professional critic on reviewing this movie? I am not. We are not professionals.
Hey, that Rotten Tomatoes, that's like a huge corporation.
But
no, it's not. No, it's not. I don't know.
It's bigger than Facebook. All of a sudden,
well, Barstool Sports. I mean, they got like a
huge
one floor of like a whole like big warehouse. It looks like
that's a pretty big operation. Door gets kicked in. Rotten Tomatoes, police, get down on the ground. We were talking shit.
No, that's Liam Neeson when you're talking smack at Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes, police.
He's going to come down and he's going to straighten you out. So
I heard you talking shit about Rotten Tomatoes. So this is where he sends her off. He's like, get on the train and leave. And she's like, all right, well, go. Yeah, he's like, I'm going to prove it that I didn't do it. And she's like, okay, well, you prove it. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, go kill anybody else you have to prove he didn't kill this guy.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of often a lot of gratuitous killing, and then there's I mean, he was careful. That was good. Careful not to blow anybody up in the tunnel, even though it was not a real bomb.
Oh, no, not at all.
Oh, well, sorry.
Spoiler
but
alert.
You know what? Here's a spoiler alert. Don't watch this movie.
Oh, hell no.
Okay.
So this is where Annie calls him, and the phone rings because, at this point, you pointed out that he said, "Leave town. Don't call me unless it's from a payphone.
Yeah, and then
don't call me at all."
Calls right, same ringtone. Hey, Annie, what's shaking, kind of thing.
It was the ringtone, so that's how he knew.
And come on, you were told you only use, and don't make her some kind of dumb female sort of, you know what I mean? Like they had the chance there. They could have. They just kind of, it was a bit of a wasted role for her.
It just seemed weird that even in 2020, like where we're at now, it's like you still can't give her a more solid role.
Right, and then she couldn't even kind of handle the basic directions that she was given, like don't use a payphone, and okay, couldn't do that because she used her phone from work. Then they came on, and then get your head bounced off the cash register. That's what you get.
This is where he's like, it's on now. Liam's giving her, and this is where he delivers the "I'm coming for you" line. So, and now it's just the rest of this is just action because it's a car chase next. That's where we were laughing about it. Do police sirens? Why in the movies do police sirens? Why,
every time when they crash a police car, all of a sudden the siren stops. But the lights are still flashing. Presumably the car is still running and stuff. Does it just the accident it cancels the sound out of the siren immediately? There's just a collision cancellation code or something that kicks in?
Where's the
sensor?
horn? Oh, so I'm thinking, where's the horn for the siren? Is it
right?
Is it in the grill where the other horn is?
But that was sideswiped. It doesn't seem to matter. It gets hit in the front, gets hit in the side, the back. It's still.
I think it only happens in the movies. I've never seen a cop car crash.
That would be a good MythBusters. Should almost contact those guys. What do you think about? Let's crash up some cop cars and see what happens to the sirens when they crash.
Do they keep going, or do they
keep
go
going?
Woo?
Right? Or they like a sad dog or something at the end, like the sad dog in the movie that we watched.
I just imagine
But
somebody.
you shouldn't.
I just imagine watching an actual cop car crash. Woo, 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 smashes up, rolls, and then the guy's like, "Oh, it does die." Anyway, that's dark.
Well, but I mean, we don't necessarily have to roll the car, but we could, smash it up with crash test dummies, and smash the cop car up and see what happens in terms of the, we could smash it up like one cop car and one Tesla because we can control that, right?
Rig up some sort of remote control. There's enough stuff on YouTube.
I'd love to see a Tesla get smashed up too, just because.
So now this is where he is now in the white van. Now he's in the Econoline van.
Yes.
And he's being chased by these guys, like in this car chase. And he gets into like a driveway, and then he just waits for them and backs out of the driveway and just smashes into them. And we are left with this like 2-minute awkward shootout between a van and a car. It was like
they're kind of connected together. Yeah.
Like the budget was so small for this movie. They're like, all right, we're just gonna film it here. Everything's close up.
And the guy to come and disconnect the cars, that's extra.
Yeah.
So we're not going to get him.
He got hung up.
Yeah, they got hung up.
So that was like ridiculous because like nobody's shooting anybody. They're shooting through the seats, and like I would assume you get shot through the seats.
Yeah, and then there was the one that the guy just had. I don't know how many bullets were in that clip.
I wasn't counting. I usually count.
Yeah.
I forgot to count.
We should have counted because it seemed like a lot. I mean,
maybe
it was one of those kind of like, made in America, many.
I've seen movies
as you can imagine,
where a 9mm shoots 38 shells before it's like.
This is what I'm saying, right? I mean, who knows? In America, whatever, you can find lots of things, right? It's possible.
Oh, this is where he escapes these other two, the two criminal FBI agents, and then all of a sudden we just see him walking up like across the street, and the other FBI agent's like,
just happens to be driving by, the old hey,
and he runs
scene, right? Because there's always a requisite hey scene.
Well, yeah, like oh no, we recognize me, shoot.
At least you do it like Marcellus Wallace, in Pulp Fiction, and then he basically runs Marcellus Wallace over. Remember? Right? Bruce.
And Salama Simpsons did that with Wiggum and Snake. Hey, donuts! I got donuts. Hey, I know you.
Donuts. I got donuts. Hey, I know you.
So this is where he jumps over the fence.
Jumps over the fence, yeah. So it's
climbing a chain link fence is hard. He's
I know.
68.
And then here he is, the 68-year-old wonder, and he is just like going up like he's some kind of like, I don't know, like Daniel Craig. What was that movie? When the crazy Casino Royale parkour type
that opening scene was great.
So, I mean, you're not going to, sorry, Liam, and again, I apologize.
Yeah,
you're not going to be jumping up that chain link fence like that.
Even the way he landed on the other side, like he fell from like 8 feet. And poof,
like that's, what I mean? Like, no, not what's up. What's up is your, your medical expenses bill. That was another item. So the girl's basically had her head bounced off the cash register.
She gets beaten,
and basically gets beaten within like the proverbial inch of her life. Because we'll throw out lots of cliches because it's appropriate for this flick. And so and then of course he somehow checks her out.
It's
like
Ramon gets in there.
But where's the cops guarding her because she's the other FBI agent's trying to kill her, so much so that the boss is watching her over her, and then there's no guard because Liam Neeson just waltzes in there.
So Liam Neeson
was he all denim at that point?
Yeah, was he full denim? He's all denim for like the rest of this movie.
No, but nobody goes full.
You never go full denim.
You never go full denim. But he did.
It was kind of working for him, I guess. I don't know. It was a dark movie. We were watching it in the middle of the day.
Maybe.
But he's got that Ford truck. He's ripping around in a white Ford truck.
Okay, that's pretty cool, but
it was a nice truck.
But I mean, like
everybody looks at a nice truck.
You're trying to blend in. You're not trying to stand out here.
Because you get
again,
as soon as you stop,
honest thief, stupid criminal.
As soon as you stop that truck, you've got nothing but old dudes walking up.
Right
there. Is that a 68
wow,
or a 69?
Exactly.
Kicking the tires. Oh, man, baby's got a sweet paint job.
You're running a 302 in there. You know, I mean,
They just come out. Hi, I got
they
look at this
they
truck.
really would.
I
And
would. Like I'm telling you, I'm like anything I see that's nice on the road. I'm like,
course.
shit. Ugh. Just distracted by shiny things.
maybe that's part of his contract too. He only drives
to have
vehicles.
nice cars.
No, not necessarily nice. They have to be before a certain vintage.
Ooh.
Right.
Well, what was he driving and taking? I'm not sure. A 64 Charger.
I never watched any of those shows. I confess.
They're terrible.
How many of them? There's like 4 of them or something, isn't there now?
Probably. Then there's like Cold Pursuit, which
Like,
is just taken.
Is there anything left? It's like taken 4 times. Like
Take
what
out.
happens? They kind of reload every time. Okay, and then they took that again, and then I can't believe it happened again, and then 4 times.
It just gets regurgitated, man.
I mean,
And
come
people
on, that's a
just
lot,
eat
a
it
whole lot
up.
of regurgitation going on.
Eat it up. They
I
love
know,
it.
87%.
Awful. So this is where. So
I'm
yeah,
with you, brother.
The FBI guy
Yeah.
and Liam Neeson have a standoff. He gives him his gun. He's like, "Listen, I'm going to do it my way." Gives him the Ramon's gun back because he
Yes.
stole his gun. And this is where he drags these two in, and he's like, "We got to talk." And here's your gun back, by the way. What's
No.
happening with this case?
No,
Or I
he's
get it
not
back.
getting his gun back. He's getting arrested. He's getting
Should be.
Mirandized. He's getting basically investigated by internal affairs.
They're both
He's
off,
off
the
the case.
The other guy's getting questioned too.
I mean, and because the one guy's already been murdered, and now the perp's giving the gun back. What?
Yeah, they didn't follow protocol at all.
It's just so ridiculous and preposterous that it just any kind of it just falls apart. It's not logical. And the hospital bills, like who's paying this bill?
It looked like she had a lot.
Right?
A
This
lot
is
of
the U.S.,
machines in
right?
there.
So, there's no, universal health care here, and she's going to pay that bill. I don't think she's just a college student. I don't think she's got a really
right.
great health plan.
Well, hold on. She finished. What was she getting? Her MB.
She's
her
in grad school, so
BM?
she was getting her master's in something or other.
Yeah, she was doing psychology. She's like,
Okay, master's in
three semesters
psychology.
left. But even that, like, you get your master's.
So now
in
she's in
psychology,
debt for
whatever.
that. Now she's got this huge hospital bill. Buddy's in jail for 2 years. He doesn't have
And they
any
just,
of that $9 million.
And they just bought a new house.
They
that
just
she
bought
has
a new
to pay
house.
For.
She's got to pay for it now.
He's just screwing her life. Like, listen,
Right.
lady, he lied to you for a year.
She was doing great.
Let him
she
go.
had a good job going. She was like working. She had nice tea and cookies and whatnot. And then Buddy shows up sniffing around, sniffing her
the
tea. And the next thing you know, she's like I say, she's got this huge debt with this house. She's got to pay for her school. She's basically got a guy in jail that she's kind of got to support as well. And what kind of life does she have now? What are her prospects like, right?
All
and
for
the buddy
love.
threw away $9 million.
There's just so many red flags for both of them. They should just walk away. He should have just been like, you know what? I'm going to live single the rest of my life. It's not that bad.
Well, and imagine too, because that was her plan. Remember?
Yeah.
She didn't want to kind of get involved with anybody after the divorce.
He just
And,
this is the movie about a man who completely screws up another person's life. Just ruins it.
And she seems to be, relatively happy about it. And 87% of the viewers seem to kind of agree.
You know what
So-
it is? Because the people that gave it 87% are married and super unhappy in their marriage. And they're like, yeah, I could totally relate. Because, hang on, I totally lost my train of thought as I was saying that.
I'm just wondering exactly what could they relate to specifically. I could totally picture my
Hold
head
on.
getting
No,
bounced
sorry.
off that cash register
Being-
like that. Or
What I was trying to say, okay, I could totally see like just overlooking shit is what I meant. So they're married,
Right.
they're overlooking stuff, just being like, you know what? Yeah, he's a piece of shit. He's been lying to me for a year, but he's not going to do it now. He's gonna change. He says he's gonna change, and they're like, yeah, we'll totally give him another
he's got
chance.
2 years to think about it.
How many people do you know that do that? You're
And
just
what
like,
judge
are
is
you
going to give him
doing?
2 years? He's probably going to get more like 5 years.
He'll get out on.
He stole $9 million. You robbed 12 banks.
And those people are going to be
That's
like,
12
throw
yes.
the book at
Well,
this guy
hang
that stole
on
my
though. They're
money.
like, he's got the money back. Well, he's going to have to pay it back with interest. Then now she's got that bill too.
the
she's got-
house mortgage.
She's got the mortgage. She's got the student loans. Right now, she's got the interest payments. Right, like she is just forget about it.
She's probably sitting on a
Right?
good 2. Let's say the
Maybe-
house. Like
maybe-
I'd say $4 million.
Maybe he's going to teach her the ways of bank robbing, and then she's going to go to work and stuff. But she's going to steal bitcoins or something instead.
Honest thief too.
So you can spend that shit.
Yeah, babe, you need a steady hand to drill through this thing. I'll teach you how to blow things up.
Yeah, I mean, nobody heard anything like all those 3-day weekends.
No.
The guy's drilling away. He's got like.
So what I want to know is how did this 68-year-old man bust into this FBI agent's house and plant a bomb? Like, when did he do that? Why didn't we get to see that?
Yeah, that was. Yeah, there were a few plot holes, and that was definitely one of them. There were a few others that we pointed out, but that's definitely a noticeable one. At what point did he bust in, and then also break into the guy's car?
Oh, broke into Ramon's place too.
Yes,
and like held him at gunpoint. Was like,
Yeah.
"What do you got in this?" And he's like, "I'm just an innocent guy. I don't like him."
he's slightly less dirtbaggish, but still,
He had
yeah.
morals. He had
Yeah.
morals, just like Liam Neeson's character. So I don't think it relate with the morals.
Well, he went down hard too.
So this is where she slaps on a bright yellow hoodie, and they go to the FBI agent's house, phone him, and then they're like, "You got 10 seconds to get out of there." And it's like the slowest countdown ever. Blows his house up. Was he? I guess he was cool with just murdering him if the guy didn't get out.
Well, and this is the thing too. It's like all this collateral damage you see, and to what end for a lot of these movies, and all these things get blown up, and all these things get destroyed, and all these people are maimed and crushed, and various states of dismemberment, death, even for some of these, just sort of peripheral kind of collateral victims. And
Just for two ego tripping dudes.
So I think it's just about time for a Go Find Yourself for all of that, helping the
Gotta help the victims of
the
Liam
collateral
Neeson's
damage
revenge plot.
Right.
You
Just think of
fucked
the
up my
damn-
girlfriend.
Right.
I'm gonna blow your house up. I don't give a shit about your neighbors.
Right.
Like, you're blowing a house up in a
doesn't
residential neighborhood.
Think how traumatizing that would be, right?
You're a kid.
You're living in beautiful, a nice upscale neighborhood too, and the next thing you know, there's bombs blowing up, and the property values are. That's a good time to get a house in that neighborhood.
Well, then you look over and you're like, who's the perpetrator? This is some 68-year-old white dude's like, I hate this FBI guy.
But he's a 68-year-old white guy, so probably get away with it.
Absolutely.
And again, where did he get the time? When was he able to kind of sneak in there and wire up all these houses, and how did he know where all these people lived and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really see him I saw him actually he was using a computer a little bit, wasn't he? But he didn't seem to. Seemed to be just like kind of stuck on Google there, like just kind of like Googling stuff. He didn't seem to be.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There was
like,
one
going
shot
very-
of like 3 results. I'm like,
Do you know what I mean? Like,
what does that say?
So like how? So is that like? Is that the whereabouts of the guy? So that's got his address right there up on Google for you.
It's just it just
Okay,
shows you how
FBI
easy it
agents,
is to track people.
home addresses. Is that like a separate kind of data set that you can access there on?
Yeah. Well, I guess
or was he using Edge?
maybe we could find ourselves
Windows
on there.
Edge.
Microsoft Edge.
Yeah.
So I got the next thing I wrote is fight, shootout, and Ramon gets killed. So where do they meet up here? Because he's like, he gives $6 million to Annie at this point.
Yes.
And she calls the other FBI guy.
See,
with
what
the
if
dog.
she just kind of like ran away with that $6 million at that point? See, that would have been the smart thing for her to do,
She spends on $100 a day
And
at
she-
the
right?
local diner.
right? And you could go buy your groceries. You could pay your rent cash.
Yep.
They don't mind when you pay your rent cash.
Rent.
Probably even pay your right. You could have rent. You could have a car payment that you went into the bank and paid in cash.
I wonder if there's probably like you probably go to like BC Hydro office somewhere and still paying cash.
It's tough, but you could do it at the bank.
Okay.
So then what you do is you go in there and you have maybe like I've got a couple banks and I just use this one for paying the bills. I just come in and I just pay cash. I get the bank, whatever. I'm old school. I prefer to do it that way. You could probably sell that,
Oh, easily.
right? It's better than getting your head bounced off the frickin' cash register.
She
Did that happen before or
she only got
after?
a tiny bruise.
No, that was out. She'd
So
already
that-
had
that's
her.
already happened.
Yeah, she's already had her face
Because
bounced.
now she's meeting she's giving the $6 million to that guy.
Right.
And then, so there's a fight. So this is where Ramon and Nevins.
What's to say that guy's not a dirtbag too, right? Just because he's got a little dog.
Yeah.
See, that would have been a
That's-
good twist. He's a dirtbag too.
Well, that's the story in the spin-off. These guys are getting like, he's a man. It's a dog. They've already done it. Turner and Hooch. Apparently, somebody told me they're remaking Turner and Hooch.
Well, of course, because Hollywood has no new ideas, right? So
Dude, they
just remake everything. They reboot everything. Everything's rebooted.
There's so many movies
Right.
that were terrible that they could remake that could be awesome. They just need a bigger budget. So
I'd
Ramon
like to
gets.
see like Slacker remade with a bigger budget.
I don't remember that one.
Okay, so Slacker, what they do is they basically follow people around. So let's say that they went like a little restaurant, and they'd follow one person in there, and then they'd be talking to somebody, or whatever, then they follow that person. And then they go around, and then they pick up on that person, and they just keep on following around people. It's a brilliant concept.
I love
but
seeing
with a
stuff like
bigger
that.
budget, I might screw it up to you. Who knows? So
That's kind of like.
cool. Richard Linklater. He's the guy who did Dazed and Confused.
Did he do
That was
Birdman
his,
too?
maybe, but that was his first one. I think one of his first ones was Slacker, and it's a really cool one to check out. I think you might enjoy that.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that kind of stuff, like Birdman, which is like it's like 6 scenes in a movie, like a 2-hour-long movie. It's only like 6 scenes. It's just continuous shooting. Somebody will walk by, follow them, lead to another part of the scene. That it's the choreography is just fantastic.
Yeah.
So he gets Nevins gets away. He's like, I planted a second bomb in your car, and it's weight sensitive. It's like, damn, dude.
Yeah.
So by this point, he's got a confession on tape. He's got him stomping his car.
Betty, right?
Hello, McFly. So he pulls over, and they get there, and I'm like, well, it's a total dud. It has to be because there's no.
Well, yeah, you
detonator on
called
us.
that one. You definitely called that one.
We called everything.
And yeah,
you
yeah,
called all of
yeah.
it.
Well, yeah.
What happened to your leg?
Whatever I miss, you got it.
I got the scraps.
Yeah, well, right? Yeah, the leg, right? Of course.
I'm like, I didn't see him limping. You're like, hey, what happened to your leg? 2 seconds later, what happened to your leg? Oh, it's sports injury.
Yeah, the old running with scissors league.
There was I don't know why, like near the end there was a shot of because like how did it end? That FBI agent is sitting there with his dog, and they like show him, and then it's like a slow zoom on the dog, and the dog's just like, what? Why is it in there?
It seemed to me like it was just, again, it was something deliberately appealing to that sort of demographic that, likes cute things or whatever and isn't really too critical about things in general. And, that was a cute dog. I like the cute dog in there. 87%.
Do you know what this is for? This movie is directly for like older men who just like, I just want to watch something stupid. And then the wife that's sitting there on her iPad who has like 2 little dogs. She's like, look at the little dog. That's how she stays engaged. And then he's like, this is fantastic. I don't have to think too much.
You know what? It is kind of like for almost like an older couple or something.
Yeah.
Kind of almost.
Like people my parents' age would love something like this.
Right.
Like, this movie is great. You should check it out.
Because there's a minimum of foul language.
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice that?
Yeah,
I don't know what the rating was, but
I think it was R.
Was it R? Because I don't
R.
remember too much profanity. I don't remember. Of course, you got the gratuitous violence and everything, but so perhaps that's maybe the target demographic.
I think so.
The sort of
It
older
seemed like
folks that are, like you say,
dude, Liam Neeson's 68. Like
Yes.
he's like a Clint Eastwood type, older. And there's people that are like, I still want to see this guy kick ass and he's my my age. A little bit older than
so I
me.
think it gives them a bit of hope, like Yager coming back for another season in the league, right? Or, or whatever.
I would equate it to like wanting to be Jean-Claude Van Damme when I was a kid. Because he was like a late 20s, early 30s martial arts movie star. And I was like, I want to be him. So now Liam Neeson is like, to 50-year-olds are like, man, I want to be like Liam Neeson when I'm 68, kicking ass, threatening people on the
climbing
phone.
chain link fences,
jumping them in a single bound.
falling from like a 5-story building, whatever. And
I wanted
and then
blue
just,
M&Ms.
Just kind of getting up and just, shaking it off.
Well, that's what I would have is a bowl of blue M&Ms with one red M&M in the middle. Be one thing. Probably have to have some sushi wherever we are. I'd have a sushi guy.
Yeah.
Somebody had to give me some.
Hang on,
some
you'd have a
street-
sushi guy, so you'd literally have to bring someone along with you.
No, that would get too fishy. That would, you get sick of this.
What so you just worry about the guy's smell? Never mind what
just
it
have somebody-
costs to have like
just
a
have
personal sushi chef.
somebody that has
to
to just-
accompany you everywhere that you go.
Well, it would be cool, but it'd be expensive. It'd be like unless they're a cool person, or just like one of my entourage knows how to make sushi. Like you gotta learn this. Learn it.
So you're gonna
I'm cutting up blowfish.
So this is future Jeff, future famous Jeff. So you want to be part of my entourage? You learn how to cut sushi.
Be
son.
my sushi guy. And then this is the end where he's like, gets the phone call and he's like, oh, so you're out of here. He's like, are you not going to turn yourself in? He's like, no, look to your left. And like, there he is. Like,
Yeah.
so triumphant.
Well, we called that one too, that he was going to be like right handy nearby, you know.
So silly. Good wholesome fun. Eat it, viewers. Just being force fed. And that was it. That was the end of Honest Thief. I real rated this 2 dog cops out of 10 fake car seat bombs.
Okay,
it was
I'll give
bad.
it 3 I'm coming for yous out of 10. We'll throw. I love dogs, so I'll throw one extra one in for the dog.
I was into the dog scenes whenever it was there. I'm like, all right, cool. You
But
got
where are we
me.
going with the dog here? That was the problem.
I hope that he joins the academy. I'm sure there's some sort of animated show they made out of him. Dogs at Police Academy. It's probably a thing. Anyway, that was the end of that. Dude, Jeff, thank you so much for coming out here and doing this. This was a lot of fun.
It's a pleasure. I hope it turns out okay in the edits.
I think it's going to be great. All right. As usual,
Thanks
everybody,
for having me.
find Real Garbage on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you like it. And if you don't like it, hit the dislike button. I don't really care. It's going to make YouTube do something. All right. Thanks again. Bye,
Thanks,
everybody.
folks. Bye.
Real Garbage.